Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again. I'm back for another crafty video. So, today it's a Grimoire day. So, remember these? I've just glued these together, so like they're just gluing now, but they're gluing to their base. But these are, the tops are now finally dry, and as is this one, but I've lost the base for this one, so I'm going to have to make another little stalk for it. These are the mushrooms. Now I have painted these. I've painted them with a bit of an iridescent interference paint, these two, and I hope they're giving that kind of effect of being almost shiny, slimy kind of feel. This one isn't, so this one's glued together, this one isn't, because this one relies on me finding the placing for it first before I glue it. And then this one hasn't had its base painted brown because I painted them brown, so that kind of just matched in a bit. This one needs the base painting, but I have painted the rest of it. I actually painted this one with a mixture of acrylic paint and glossy accents. Excuse me, sorry, I'm coughing for some reason. So this is painted with it's just mixed glossy accents and acrylic paint, so it's got a bit of a shinier kind of feel to it. And this one then is painted with acrylic paint, but then I've gone over the top with glossy accents and allowed that to dry. So that's how that looks. That's still got to have its white dots on it, but you can kind of start to see how it's going to look. So it's going to be something like that on the front of the Grimoire. So obviously if we get the front of the Grimoire into shot, we can put that board, and I painted the background obviously to look like wood. And hopefully you think it looks like wood, because I was very impressed with myself at my abilities there. So that's going to go on the front of there, and then the back is going to have so the back is here, and this has got, so I've painted that with some size for gilding it. So I think we're going to do that in this video. So this is going to go in the background here. I haven't decided how I want to kind of frame it, or whether I want to just leave it as it is, but I just love how that's turned out. So oh, and the other thing I did was I painted my tree. So I've painted it with a bit of green, brushed it with a bit of green to make it look like a mossy tree. So remember, it was all this brown before, so to make it look like a mossy covered tree. And I hope they think that that's got the right effect, because I absolutely love how that turned out. So I'm very excited by these things. Doesn't take much, I know. Little things please little minds, you know what they say. So I should pop that into, because that's going to go in there. I've only taken that out. These have just got names in them for what's going to go in there. Otherwise, every time I come to it, I'm like, I can't remember what I was going to put in there. So oh, and the other thing I did was I did some, you know, the little shrooms that we made. I've painted a whole load of those. So these are some of them. So I shall take them out gently, because they are quite delicate. And then I've glossy accented some of them to make them look that kind of like sticky kind of sensation. Other ones I've just left matte. But there's a whole load of them now, so they've got lots of little these little tiny ones. And this is one of my favorites. I absolutely love this. Look at that little one, isn't that cool? So yeah, so like I say, I'm really loving how these have turned out. I've got very excited about this. You've never seen anybody so excited about tiny little mushroomy things. So that they're all going to be kind of coming together in one of the little scenes. So the scenes from what we previously started doing have changed slightly. I'm going to put those in there because they're all together. The reason for that is, I have to be honest with you, I fell out with the suspended magic. I don't think it does what I want it to do, so I'm changing that up, and I'm going to change it to something else. So what we're going to do is, let me just bring this in. Sorry, it's getting to the point where I'm struggling to keep things out of the way from being squashed. So move that out of the way and move this into shot. So we're kind of getting there now with how it's going to look. So I've pulled two of these away from the background. One of the reasons for that is this is where the cauldron's going to go. So one of them I want to be under the cauldron with some, I don't know, some orange tissue paper to create like the feeling of flames. And the other one I'm going to put, so I've drilled a hole in my cauldron. I'm going to push one of them into here so it'll be like lit from within, so it looks like a creepy potion. The other thing I've done is I've painted it with some size, but I've only just done that, so that one won't be tacky enough yet. But I'll do this one with you on camera, and whether I get that one done I don't know. So what we're just going to talk about this. So this one is going to be where the wand is going to go. Okay, I think we're going to make a little cat sculpture out of air dry clay. I'm going to have some books in this one. How I'm going to arrange it I don't know yet, but that's the idea for it. This is the one that's going to have the cauldron in it. This one's going to have a cluster of potions, like in a little nook that have been gathered together. This is going to have a broom and a cape. Now these are just ideas at the moment. These might evolve as I realise I can't do these things. But at the moment it's going to have like a witch's broom and a cape, like kind of hung up. I'm thinking I might make the background into like a bit of an old wooden door, and so you can have it like hung by the door. And then this is going to be where my collection of mushrooms are going to go. So that's currently how it lies. That's the lay of the land at the moment. Like I say, things might change a little as we go forward. I've found some acetate that I can use for the areas. I'm going to do some experiments with maybe sanding some of it so it gets like a frosted look around it. The other thing I've done before is I once lived in a house that had a solid glass panel above the door. It was just a glass panel. It was completely uninteresting. But what I did was I masked out some letters, some numbers actually, because I lived at number 12, and I put them on so they were the right way round from when you look out. So they were the right way round this way, so it said 1, 2, but when you turned it over, obviously it was 1, 2, and it was backwards. So what I did was I masked them out, and then I went over it with some clear varnish on a roller, and it kind of made it very frosted looking around the outside of it. So then when you peeled the letters off after it dried, the letters just said 12 in clear glass, and the rest of it was like a frosted glass. And then I coloured the frosting, the frosted glass, and it looked really good, and I've got to say it looked really effective. And I was just wondering if I could do something very similar, but not using varnish, but using, I don't know, one of the PVAs or something like that. Anyway, like I say, no, I haven't done those experiments yet, but we've been kind of like leaping forward with doing the journal that's going to go inside, which we'll show you like next time. That'll be part. So next week's video will be the last video, because I'm going to release it on the 31st, which is the Thursday instead of the Friday, and it should be complete then, fingers crossed. So and I'll go through what I did and how I did it and all of that at that stage. So Anyway, that's it. So let's get on with this, and we'll do. I need to gild this, and I'm not sure what else I'm going to do in this video. To be fair, I'd like to get this gilded if it dries in time. It's a little bit sticky in there. That's probably because it's still very wet in there, actually. Could do with that being dabbed out. Otherwise, let's just get a bit of this. Let's just pick up the excess with this, because it needs to. It can't be very moist. It needs to be dry for me to be able to gild it. It needs to go tacky. So this one I've done in advance. So you've watched me gild before, but I'm going to gild it again. So it's nothing like gilding a lily, is there? Try again. There's nothing like gilding the lily. I'm not gilding a lily though. So I think. So I want to put some kind of a gem in it using UV. And I can't think whether to do it in silver background or gold. So I've got some gold. I've got some gold leaf here. This is the gold, and I've got some silver. And this is the silver. So it's actually just this one's just a loose piece. I'm thinking the silver might give you more of a reflection. The gold might taint the colour of it. I think I'm going to go with silver. I think I've kind of chosen now. So anyway, I might as well just lay it down and just do that. Oh, actually, let's get my brushes in place first. So I could do with my brushes just need to be not sticky. No sticky brushes, and I could do with one that's a bit more coarse. That's coarse and dirty. But never mind, it's coarse. So I'm going to put this on here, and I need to kind of get it to sit in the recess. Without breaking too much. Now it will break a little because you're trying to stretch it. But it'll give us the effect we need. You know, the little bit of breaking on it is not the end of the world, because at the end of the day, you know, it's kind of got this cracking in the background. At the end of the day, we're trying to make it look old, aren't we? So, and things crack as they get older. I'm definitely cracking as I get older. So now I should be able to just pull some of this away. Don't want to pull too much away. I'm just going to just pull it away a little bit to start with. Put those bits in there. Now I haven't sorted my gilding box out for a while, so I will do that at some point, but at the moment I'm just going to put them in there. So I've got in here I've got somewhere for bigger pieces and somewhere for really tiny pieces, but at the moment it's all just thrown in. You just have to remember when you're doing this not to breathe too much, because it all just blows away. So I'm just brushing it just to make sure it makes contact first, and then we're going to get all the bigger bits and just pull them off. Because then when you go in with your coarser brush, you don't want to have loads of big flakes just floating around. You see that's gone. Whatever's that's got on it has gone all over the surface now. So let me get this in. Now it's not perfect because I didn't put anything around the line, but I can always paint that out. I don't know. I wish I hadn't used that. I don't know what's on the end of there. Somebody hasn't dried it out properly. But you know, it's not going to look horrible because at the end of the day, it's going to look old. So that's fine. And then I just want to fill that area now with. Let's see if I can just scrape some of this away. Don't want anything too sharp. Just going to use the edge of this ruler. It might need a bit of a touch up with a bit of black paint at the end, but it's fine for now. So what I want to do is I want to get that UV on there, the UV resin. Now I need to make that, I need to mix that. So I need to put some gloves on because I'm using resin. You shouldn't let it get in contact with your skin. So I'll order some more of those. I think they're on my shopping list though. So. Tacky that is. It can't be wet, that's the problem. So get this out. Okay, move that out of the way. It needs to sit over the top of there but also still be able to plug in, so it's going to have to be this side. Go in the plug. Well done. Right, okay, cool. That's going to sit over there. So then we need to get some UV resin, a little crucible to make it in, and a colour, and let's get one of the mats out as well. So now I was wondering, maybe green would be best because it's witchy, isn't it? So maybe, I don't know what colour green that was, but it's the label's completely obliterated. What colour is that? No idea. Oh, that's amber, so the colour down the middle. Jadeite, I think that says. I don't know what that one says. Potion, I think it says, actually. But yeah, I think maybe I was going to go for like a red, but I think I'm going to go for a garnet. So I'll ask Brian while he's here. So Brian's just come and asked me if I want a hot drink. What colour should the gem be? Green or red? Green. Okay. Yeah. So, well, jade. I've got jade green, so I don't know what the other one is. That one says potion. I think that says potion. Maybe that's the right colour. I can't see what that one says. It's
something of a similar consistency you can try a bit on.
I'm just going to try a bit on my mat. Let's try it on a bit of. No, not that. So that's, you can't really tell because you can't make the UV the right. It won't be the right thickness if you try and put If you try and, it will be quite a light colour because otherwise it doesn't set.
Right. I would personally
Yeah.
do that in the middle and that around there.
You can't.
Okay.
There's got to be one,
Then the darker one.
the darker one. Okay. So Brian's saying he wants both, which can't happen. So we're going to go for the darker one, which was this one. So we're going to put some of this in here. I'm going to go 3 drops and then put some of this in. Now this is going to take quite a bit, I would have thought. And it's better to make too much resin than not enough. Because especially when you've put it in this crucible, it's really hard to then get it out. So I'm actually going to use that over there because that is getting very sticky on the top there. So I think I might need a bit more of this. I'll try one blob first. So you can colour it, like I say, but it does take a long time to set if it's too dark. So we might have to go for kind of a you don't want to get too much of this to the ratio in the ratio. Okay, so I think that's going to have to be enough, otherwise I fear it won't set. So move that out of the way because you're only going to put your arm in it. Move that out of the way. And then we're going to tip that into there and hope for the best. Is that enough? Does it need a bit of a tweak? Does it need encouraging down there? A little. I don't want to encourage it over the edge though. Right, let's get that setting. Okay, so while that's setting, let me just see now whether this is tacky or not. There is only one way to find out. Right, so that's going to have to be out of the way. Let's just fold that over. Right, this could go horribly wrong because I'm trying to do 2 different mediums at the same time. And I can't even do a single extra large, let alone a medium. But this time I think I might use some gold because I want it to have like a warmer, bubbling kind of feel. I've got some copper in here. I could always use some of that as well. It doesn't really matter what colour I use because it's going to be inside. It's just to reflect the light back. So basically it's a way to reflect the light. So I am going to put this in here and hopefully get it to tamp down. I'm just going to get it to go in all the way around. So like you can't really see in here, but any of the gaps I can fill with other bits. So it doesn't have to go in on one sheet. It can go in pieces. Anything that isn't stuck will just come away when you brush it away. Like I say, if it doesn't all stick, then it doesn't all stick, and like if it doesn't all completely stay in there, it's not a huge thing because it's not. It's only just reflecting stuff. It's not essential. It was just because I thought, you know, black doesn't really reflect light very well, so. So I know I can't really show you this on camera because I have to kind of get my head in the way. I don't think it's taken all the way round either. But it'll do enough of a job, that's all that we need. And if it's patchy, it's fine. It's going to just reflect. Actually, if it's patchy, it might be good for the way it reflects light. Well, that's switched off. Let's turn that back on. And it's not a high voltage thing that we're using, so we don't have to worry about loose bits of it being an issue, because it's not going to be. So let's see where the hole is. It's there. Put the lid back on there. Now I made a circle for this that was going to sit just inside it, just a bit lower down, that I was going to colour, and I thought I might colour it with some UV. However, I don't know where that's gone. Oh, it's there. Now I think it's a little bit. Did it go inside? Oh, it is in there. I can't see it. That's the problem. It's kind of sat at a weird angle, but it's not going to come out now. It needs to have something around the edge, stop it from dropping down. It needs a rim of something. I want to see how that's doing, but one of the things I don't want to do is actually put my finger in it. Oh, well, it's definitely curing. Let's put that round that way. I know you're desperate to see that, but you just have to wait until it's a bit drier, a bit more set. So I want to make. Where did I just put that? It's there. That's the problem when you work with like transparent pieces. Is wherever I put that, it's there. So maybe I should try covering this with some of that. This could go horribly wrong, but it's only a piece of perspex at the end of the day, so it's not even perspex. It's a piece of acetate. So I was thinking if I have some of that, kind of spread it out a bit, I might get some other colours going with it. So it looks like a swirl of something interesting. I want that to be as set as possible. That's why they keep putting it back on again. I know you're desperate to see it, but you have to wait, because patience is a virtue. Right, I did have another little crucible for this somewhere. It's back in the thing. It's back where it belongs. Right, let's do this and have maybe some purple with it. And there it is. Mix it with that. Bit of cross-contamination. Never, I was going to say, a bit of cross-contamination never hurt anybody, but of course. Of course it does. I think that might be a bit thin, that one. Because it should be a bit thicker than that when it runs. That's how you know you've got the ratio correct. Now I don't mind it spilling out over the edge of this. This is really, these are just, they're great because they're silicone, so it doesn't stick to it, but they're rubbish for stirring because they're so flexible, they don't actually move. Right, okay, I'm going to have to get some more of that. Let's do a different colour. Just have a blob or two of that. Don't worry, I have more if I do run out. You're all waiting for the big reveal on that, I know. So I'm going to put this in. If it spills over the edge, that's fine, I can cut it off. But I'm going to get it on first, so. I don't want to go for another colour, I think just stick to two colours. Might need a bit more green though. Or can I scrape this out of here? Not going to put that one back on. I think that might be ready now for you to see. You can't overexpose this, so you can't have too much UV light on it, so the longer you leave it to set, the better it is, because you just, the more UV it gets, the harder it forms. So that's nice. I like the pattern of that, and at least. Right, let's do the reveal on this. So that's this. Let's put that over there so that can harden that up. Okay, I don't want to take these off just yet. But there we go. That's our. So it has. It's definitely set. Like I say, I might have to paint the around the edge so you don't see the silver as much, but I definitely think the silver in the background is better than not having any at all. It's nice shiny. It'll stay in there as well because it's kind of a glue as well, so that's why I've been using it to set things. So I want to see how this turns out and then see how it will go in there. So I'd like to put a light in it just to test it with. I know what I could do. I could use, I've got those spare ones. Got some spare ones here. Let's do that again. So I could put a light, just take one of these, put the rest of them in my hand so that they're not no distraction. So it's going to have a light in there like that. It's going to be like that, but it'll be inside a little thing. So I just want it to have a bit of a light shining through it. I think if it went that way up, actually, a lot more light comes from it. So you get a bit of a you can't see, but you get a bit of a shine from it. But it's definitely better than if it was shining in a black background. So, am I going to too much trouble? Probably. It's definitely going to too much trouble. This is what I did with the Alice in Wonderland thing, because I just went over the top. Everything was just like, let's find another way to make it a little bit more complicated, and then what happens is I don't do anything with it. It just sits on my shelf because so I thought about selling it, and then like I backed out of the selling of it, and I don't know what. So this one, I don't know whether it'll be saleable or usable or whatever. But that's me just doubting myself. I'm sure we all have those kind of moments where you just like backtrack on things and think, yeah, it's a big step selling your work. It's all very well making it, but then when you have to sell, well, you don't have to sell it, but when you come to sell it, it becomes a bit daunting. You know, I don't know. I know I should be like brave and like, you know, put myself out on YouTube and make these things in front of you, but when it comes to actually releasing it into the wild. Right, let's see if this is set. Can we get it off the board? We can. It's a little bit wet on the back, so is that oozing wet or is it... Right, okay, what I might do is I might just bring this light back in for a few minutes. So it's tangled with everything now. Just for a few minutes. I don't want to put it on directly on here because I don't want to get maybe on that bit there. And just do the back. So the back sets. I think because like if you've got a clear back, you should always flip it over anyway. That's why a lot of the silicon things, like silicon molds, are all in this kind of translucent stuff, so that the light can penetrate it. Because very often you'll find it's set on the top, but inside it's still mushy, and that's because you need to flip it over and set it on the other side. So that's my theory anyway. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing now, is setting it and see if that works. Setting the back. The great thing about this is any extra pieces that I've made, I can just set them under the light and they just pop out. So I don't even know whether it's going to work in here. I want it to kind of sit there with the light underneath it and looking a bit potiony, because it's going to go in one of the bigger ones, so you will be able to see down into it. So, oh yeah, that's nowhere near as tacky as it was. Right, I might need to cut just that blob off. To get it to go in, might need more than that blob off. Some more blobs sticking out. There are a few. There. There. Don't squidge it in, Dave, and then not be able to get it out again. You mean just like that, Dave? Yeah, just like that, Dave. Don't do that. Don't do that, Dave. Okay, then do it. Don't do it, Dave. Right, now we're going to put this in here, and we're hopefully going to see what you should see. There we go. So yeah, that kind of works. That kind of works like the way I wanted it to. It might not look anything in here, but like maybe when it's in its setting, it'll look better. I've just lent in some of the UV. I need to get that off my arm. It's better if that's up the right way, I guess. But yeah, hopefully you can see that and you can see what I'm trying to get at. I'm quite excited by that now. That worked out as well, so I'm happy about that. Let's just dry these off. I won't make you watch all this. I'm just going to dry off my tools and things. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint round that and make it black around the edge so that it doesn't stick out, and then next time you see it, we should be in a position where I'm finished. Now that means that I am going to have to kind of do some work in the background to get that done, because as you can see, we're nowhere near finished. The book still needs its edging done. I was going to do one technique, and I was going to do this technique that I did for making the background of the wood, and then I thought about using air dry clay to make it. Still don't know what I'm going to do, so that's just going to be, wait and see. I think it's one of the last things I need, because I need to assemble the whole thing, and then so then we'll go from there. So anyway, so what I might do is I might release the flip through and then have a few other videos as process videos, the things that I did in order to get there, and maybe have them available on my Ko-fi or something like that. Whatever. Anyway, so right, folks, I am going to love you and leave you. I am absolutely starving. Not literally starving, but I'm very hungry. I'm going to go and get something to eat. We're having roast dinner today because it's Sunday the 13th of October. And I'm going to go and have something to eat, and I will see you all in the next video. So thanks very much for spending some time with me. Don't forget, my name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and make sure that you give this a like, you give me a follow, you subscribe. That's the same thing, Dave. You share it. If you want to be shared, you can turn back time. Or you can be a gypsy, tramp, or thief. Anyway, shut up, Dave. Alright, Dave. Sorry, Dave. Alright then, an octopus. I shall see you all very soon. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Love to you all. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. 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 Bye.